A debate has recently been raging as to whether or not the United Kingdom should reinstigate a form of national service, be it military or perhaps civilian. Being that I am Norwegian and living in a country where we have national service, military service, and I myself have had my national service and spent a few extra years in the military, I thought I might as well offer a few of my views. First, a little bit about how national military service actually works in Norway today. Today, out of about 60,000 people born a year, only around 6 to 8,000 of them actually do their military service. This military service is set up that they have 1 year of what is called førstegangstjeneste, or first time service, where they go through basic military training and then do the rest, or which is about 3 months, and then do the rest of their year out in a military unit. Be it the Royal Guard in Oslo, or the Communications Battalion in Northern Norway, or the Border Guard, or in the Navy or the Air Force. After they're done with these 12 months, then they have, I believe it is 6 or 7 more months of service in the Home Guard. And that would say that they can be called in for a week a year or a few days a year, and then they come to a Home Guard military base, do some yearly training, or they can be used for different types of real missions. That would be guarding installations, or during the COVID pandemic, they used the Home Guard and, conscripts to close different border stations along the Norwegian and Swedish border. So all sorts of different things. My view today is that national service is something which is quite good for a country, and I believe it would be quite good for the United Kingdom. You can make the argument that Great Britain, being an island nation, does not really need to have a particularly strong army, as long as their focus is not abroad, but on actually protecting their home country. And therefore, you don't really need national service. But I think national service is something which is important to the country in other aspects than just what is good for the military. It's good for the people. The United Kingdom, by becoming a constantly more multicultural society, a society which is more divided and split up culturally, having a form of national service where you take young people from all across the country, you push them into the same unit, you make them more or less get to know each other, work together, give them a shared experience. That is something which is good for the country. One might say that, that's what schools are for. But schools in the United Kingdom are becoming more segregated. They are segregated by class and by region. And you don't really get these interactions, perhaps especially between the different ethnic minorities and majority in the country. So I believe having a form of national service, taking these young people into the military or into some sort of civic service, would be a good way to try to strengthen the collective identity of a country, especially like Great Britain, the way it is today. I have seen young people come into the military who have really no skill sets which are applicable to said service, but who are transformed throughout a year like that. They are taught, or they learn to push themselves, they are challenged, they learn to cooperate with other people. They have a whole row of great experiences which young people don't really get anymore unless they voluntarily go into the military. On the other side, you could have sort of civic service, and I believe, I think it's Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear, he said jokingly that our national service, it is nothing that won't be good for the United Kingdom. You should make young people work on farms instead. Well, I partially agree, because I believe that you should have people both in a sort of strictly military form of service, but also into the civilian society, wherever you need people. In schools, I'm a teacher, and I know if I had an 18, 19-year-old assistant who I could ask to, please take Jamie outside and help him with whatever, that would make my teaching the rest of the class, and also, said Jamie, much easier. It would be a way to take a burden off of our shoulders and also give these young people who would be into said service, a view into how, let's say, education works, or how it is to work in hospitals or old folks' homes or farming or wherever one needs these people. So they might actually consider a career in this in the place where they are put. I would use my own experience as an example here. I did not plan on continuing in the military, but after having been in the army for 1 year, I decided to stay in for a few more because I enjoyed it. I was opened up to possibilities I did not know existed through national service. And we're going across the West. We're going into a sort of a demographic decline. We need people in many different areas of society, schools, in old folks' care, etc., and farming, whatnot. And we should, instead of importing lots and lots of new human resources, we should better use the resources we already have in our societies. So a form of national service would do that. It would open up people to shared experiences and new job opportunities, perhaps, and also help them get to actually see the country. Getting to travel around the country, meet people from all across the country. This sort of thing helps bind the country together. And again, the United Kingdom becoming more and more diverse and perhaps split in different manners. That sort of service, I believe, would do good. So my suggestion to you, Great Britain, and the people of Great Britain is, well, look to Norway, look to Scandinavia, look to the countries that have a form of national service, and consider doing it yourselves. I believe it is good for the people of the country, it is good for the country on a whole, and it is good for the young people who get a proper experience, who get to be pushed out of their comfort zones, get to grow as human beings, and get to, well, be melted together more as a society. Because that is something the country needs if it is going to, well, stick together in the years to come.